thought I would give you a very excited update on my Inquisitorial boarding party. Now, I'm sure you have all watched my list ideas for the boarding parties when boarding actions landed in Arcs of Omen, Abaddon. I was dead excited, and I did a load of list ideas for boarding parties. And the final one, the one that really got me going and has made me listen to, although I am going to buy the Eisenhorn book series because I want to read it rather than listen to it, and I got very, very excited about this list. Now, this list is the Inquisitorial list, which I put up on the video. It's an Inquisitor Castinus Mortis, who is leading his merry band of Inquisitorial retinues, and I've got so much to talk about, so much cool stuff. However, today, about an hour ago, Games Workshop dropped this. Imperial Agents boarding party with Navy breaches, rogue traders, and an assassin. Now, it's got the wrong assassin, which is fine. We'll forgive them for that. But, I mean, this is pretty cool. I'm very excited to see where they go with this, and if they're going to end up expanding this and give us some like Imperial Agent vehicles and things. Like if you remember the I think it was a Repressor. It was like an Adeptus Arbites. There we go, Adeptus Arbites Rhino, and we had some Inquisitorial / Grey Knight Rhino hatches as well, which I have. So I have built a Inquisitorial Rhino, and I have found the. I only managed to find the Bulldozer Blade for my Repressor kit, but I have got the Bulldozer Blade. I don't know where the rest of it is, but never mind. The Bulldozer Blade is the only one that mattered. But I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with these in 40k going forwards, because I would absolutely love I'd love to run an Inquisitorial retinue. Like, I get that an Inquisitorial retinue is only very small, so getting up to a 2,000 point army might not be doable, but I'm 100% writing like loads and loads of different boarding parties, and this Inquisitorial boarding party idea has slightly snowballed, and we've got some more cool stuff going now. One of the things that I was talking about in this, in the initial video, was all the different kind of counts as that we can do, and I thought I would kind of just do a quick overview. It's not going to be a quick overview. I'm going to stop saying that in my videos. It's not going to be a quick overview. I'm going to get very excited by lots and lots of different things. With things like the Voidsmen. So the Voidsmen are effectively an Imperial Agent on a 25mm base with a weapon, and that in itself opens up all sorts of conversion possibilities. Now, the Voidsmen in this kit, which are the ones that I've got, and I will get down to the video in a second because I do have them all here. You can see one here, ha ha ha. The Voidsmen in this kit here, these ones, there's very few different kind of poses and options to them, and they're very, very mono pose. Like they are push fit, so you can't really tweak anything. You can get a little bit of a torso twist going if you put them in a saucepan of boiling water, so that it makes the plastic a little bit softer, and you can twist it a little bit. Be careful when you're doing that. And you can also kind of cut the heads off slightly and just repose the heads so they're not quite as single plane. But what we can do is just replace these with and just convert to our heart's content, which is great. Now, we have in this list, we have an Inquisitor, we have a Demon Host, which I've just realised that I haven't converted yet. I need to get onto my Demon Host. I have some ideas for it, but I haven't done it yet. We have a Rogue Trader, a Death Cult Executioner, a Rejuvenat, 10 Voidsmen, 10 Navy Breachers, and a Calidus Assassin, which is the correct assassin. Now, I do want to also get it's not the Everset, I can never remember the name of it. It's the more psychic one, with the skull head and the massive kind of pariah-esque null zone. I can never remember the name of that one. Anyway, so I do want to get one of those as well to go with the rest of the ever-expanding Inquisitorial retinue, which we will get to now. But the Calidus Assassin, Right, I can't believe I'm so excited about all this. Right now, I'm going to move him out of the way. I'm going to move him out of the way because he's going to be like the final reveal. Because he's also. Anyway, right, I won't spoil that. Right, so we have Navy breaches in here. Sorry, the Voidsmen. So I've got the Voidsmen. They are all going on the boarding actions, the new Void bases, which you will see. Well, you hopefully have all watched my how to paint them, and if you haven't, I can't do like it will pop up here, but just go down to my channel and have a look at all the void spaces, because there's a video about how you paint these void spaces as well, which look like, spoiling the Calidus Assassin, end up looking like this, which look amazing, look really cool, nice and simple, nice and muted, and should complement however I paint the assassin going forwards. Now she's normally leaping over a brick, I think, or like a big piece of concrete, but managed to sort her out so that she's on a pipe, which looks great. She looks amazing. I'm getting so excited about these. So we've got a Calidus Assassin. I also converted up a Death Cult Assassin, who's also looking great. Now this is a few little bits. There's not too much. I am very sorry that she's primed. I try to. And I'm doing this more and more at the moment. I'm trying to keep once I've done a conversion, I'm going to not prime it and do a video on it. So I'm very sorry that she's primed. But basically, all I did is I cut the arm, because the arm comes up over her head. Cut the arm off and lowered it down, and she has an Escher Death Maiden throwing knife and an Escher Death Maiden head. She's got a little bit of a torso twist going on in there, very simple. You just kind of drop it in some hot water and it twists really nicely, because this is very malleable plastic, and then I sculpted the rest of the back of the hood on as well. So that's my Death Cult execution. Oh, it's so good, they're so cool. So that's one. I am going to do another one. So I bought 2 boxes of the Elucidian Star Striders, so I do have 2 boxes worth of models to play around with, which is why I have my 10 Voidsmen, because you get 5 in the box. Now I do have to kind of sort out and balance and get that attached up into there, but we will sort that out as well at some point. The head is cut off so that I can put a helmeted head on there and have it turning and looking the correct way. Yes, there's been a little bit of a torso twist there, and no, you can't see it because it's all kind of hidden underneath all the gubbins that go around the model anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it just takes it off that kind of single plane pose that a lot of these Voidsmen and the Elucidian Star Striders have. So, rotator cannon. Yes, I've got to draw the barrels. I'm just getting so excited by all this. It's so cool. The color scheme, I'm going to go very muted and very muted, very kind of oily and dirty, and then like pick a color for each sort of unit, and that's going to be like the spot color. That's going to be the highlight color. Which is going to be quite nice. I'm going to struggle to keep everything away from blue, I think, because I think blue as a spot colour on a dirty, grimy base is going to look really cool. Here is my Rogue Trader. You will notice that she has a new sword. That is Lady Credo's sword. Now, luckily, I bought Lady Credo for Golden Demon entry last year and didn't quite get round to finishing her off. But she had a bit of a cloak, a damaged cloak, so Games Workshop very kindly sent me a second one. For the cloak, so I did have a spare awesome little sword. It's a little bit bent, so that needs to go in some hot water and straighten that out as well. But that is my Rogue Trader. Again, these need to go in just a little bit of hot water just so I can repose that, because I don't want it quite so flat. That's supposed to be reloading, so I think that could just stretch down. So I'll drop that in some hot water and see if I can just bend that down so it's reloading the pistol for her. But that's going to be one of my Rogue Traders. So cool. And then we have, of course, the breaches which came out, which are gorgeous. So cool. I've based up some of them, and here are some select ones. I was waiting. No, sorry, it was the Arbites that I'm waiting for the 40k rules. But I just need to kind of sit down with these and figure out what loadouts I want on them for 40k. So I've got lots of them. I think there's 5 with the shotguns on, and then I've got 4 left. Well, 3 left because one of them's got the shield. So I've got 3 left to do kind of cool, funky things and give the funky weapons to. It's just so much good. And then we get to things like this. We can. It's just a guardsman with a gun. Now, as as I know, the idea of doing all this and running it in boarding party, which is it's not competitive, it's a very kind of narrative-led kind of idea. And one of the things that when you are writing the boarding parties for an Imperial Agent / Inquisitorial retinue / warband, the Inquisitors have acolytes. So the acolytes can sort of be the similar rules to Voidsmen. Now Voidsmen, of course, you can just have a unit of 5 Voidsmen, and then you can use the Navy Breachers as well. But the acolytes start coming in, and you can start using acolyte rules and doing some cool stuff, because acolytes don't have any models, so you can just do things like this. So this is going to be one of my acolytes who has a melter gun. So what I want to do is I want to have an entire unit. Let's get that focused. There we go. I want to have an entire unit of servo skulls. Only 5. I just want 5 servo skulls. So I'm going to have a servo skull with a lasgun, servo skull with a flamer, servo skull with some kind of thunder hammer or some sort of combat weapon. So we can have like a combatty with a las pistol servo skull. So I want 5 servo skulls to accompany this particular Inquisitor. So that's going to be one of them. I think that's a Sisters of Battle melter gun, which sits really, really nicely on that one. I think this is the Black Templars. It's either Black Templars or Deathwatch. I think it might be Deathwatch actually. So I think this is a Deathwatch servo skull, which is fine. I've got a couple of these. I've also got some from the Grey Knight kits. So I'm going to have a unit of these. Yes, they're not quite as... well, actually, they are the same height. They're roughly the same height, so it's not like I'm modelling for advantage or anything. But also in boarding actions, the height is pretty irrelevant. It goes base to base, so this is only going to be an issue when I start, hopefully, using them a little bit in 40k as well. So I'm going to have a unit of servo skulls with the weaponry that acolytes can have, which will be great. Also, you could have them quite easily just have 5 of them with las guns, and then that turns into... or even 3 of them with lasguns and 1 with a rotator cannon, like convertible rotator cannon for a servo skull. That would be amazing. So they can then count as your Voidsman, which would be amazing. The really, really good thing about boarding actions, and it's very, very good for narrative style gaming, is that it's all based around... no pun intended. It's all based around the base size. So the height and everything is pretty irrelevant, because as long as you can see... as long as you can draw a line of sight between 2 bases, then you can shoot. So if there's a wall in the way, then you can see from here to here. The size and height and width of the model is pretty irrelevant. So that's really, really cool. Now, acolytes. There's a lot of this sort of stuff. So this is from Necromunda. I'm going to have so much fun with all this. There's a lot of models that we can get from Necromunda. I think this is the Imperial Pilot. Like a Navy pilot. I don't quite know why Necromunda released a model, but it's stunning. It's really, really cool. I haven't put the arms on because I want to give her some funky acolyte weapon. There's a lot of this at the moment in my boarding parties. Well, not in my boarding party, because my boarding party is set. Like, I know what weapons they're going to have. But like going further with my Inquisitorial retinue, I'm just going to make some cool conversions with acolytes and with certain weapons. I don't quite know what she's going to look good with. I think she has a sword and a bolt pistol in the model, so she would look good with the sword. And yeah, we're going to play around with stuff like that. I've also found, I dug out my, I think this is Locke, Inquisitor Locke, who is really, really cool. Fortunately, I've completely lost his weapons. I don't know where his weapons are. This was found in a bits box, because I have all my bits are organised in a big organisation tray, which is great. So that's my Inquisitorial retinue organisation tray, and I found him in a bits box, so he's now gone into that. So he can have a couple of different weapons, which will be great, and he will sit straight in as another Inquisitor in the retinue. I don't know how many Inquisitors I'm kind of... not allowed, but I don't know how many Inquisitors make sense in a retinue. Like, there's plenty of references in the lore of Inquisitors from like Ordo Malleus working with Inquisitors from Ordo Hereticus working together. So maybe somebody from the Ordo Malleus has found a heretic, and they're bringing in a Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor to kind of help out, or kind of passing the book sort of thing. I know there's plenty of occasions where you can have different Inquisitors within a force. We'll see how many I ended up. I'm just getting so excited. Anything that looks like this, I want to convert into an Inquisitor, like this one. So here is another Inquisitor. So this is another Inquisitor. She's badass. Again, apologies for having it primed. I think it's going to be. I've got a couple of different options for the weapon. This is just tacked on. I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be this one rather than a Thunderhammer. I've got a small Thunderhammer done as well, but I think that one just gives her a little bit more height. But we'll see. So that is another Inquisitor which has yet to be named, but she's going to be awesome and badass and fantastic in the Force. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I also managed to find a cartographer, which is fab. This is from Forge World. This is one of the Forge World kits. I think it comes with a pilot. I think it's a cartographer or a scribe and a pilot. I think that's right. Maybe it's another servo skull. I can't remember. I grabbed this one when I was starting to do this, and I don't know whether the model is irrelevant. This is the model that I wanted, and he kind of sits here and he's got scrolls and he's keeping track of everything. So he's going to be really, really cool to play around with. Really nice model. And then more Necromunda. I've also got, I can't find it at the moment, I think it's in the other room. I've also got the Cawdor one as well, but this is a water cast, I think. This is a water cast model. It has a big kind of Tau hat on it, like a Tau shield drone. But I've taken that off because the model comes and it looks really, really cool with the hat on, but then when you take the hat off, you realise it's got an awesome head. So it looks like something from Hellboy. And I don't know what this guy's going to be. I don't know what weapons he's going to have, but this guy's going to be in the boarding party as well. And I can't. Right, okay, I can do one more. I'll do one more, and then I'll show you the Inquisitor that is going to be leading all of this. So there's been lots of talk when I was flicking through the Demon Hunters book from 4th edition, something like that, about Inquisitorial retinues having Grey Knights. So I think that's the first time Grey Knights were kind of mentioned in 40k. So this is Captain Garrow, Nathaniel Garrow. That's his model, and I've just tweaked it a little bit. He's got an awesome new sword. Libertas is now I don't know what it is, a hollowed out power sword. He's got his wrist-mounted Stormbolter on there as well. So I wanted to keep it WYSIWYG for a Grey Knight, but it's just going to be a Grey Knight. So I'm just going to use the rules for like a Grey Knight captain or something, or a Brotherhood captain, and drop him in the Inquisitorial retinue when he's being played with. I think I'll probably go for a bear head, but that's just a Grey Knight head on there for the time being. He's in 2 at the moment, so I've just filled in that a little bit, just so that when he goes together, he's a fraction taller because he was a bit squat. So that's going to fit in there, and he's just going to be a bit taller. I'm going to fill in any other gaps down there, but that's just such a nice model. Really, really nice. So I'm looking forward to painting that up. He's going to be cool, and he's just going to have a bare hand. I've just got to grab a hand from the Grey Knight kit. I need to put a little collar on. You can see this here has got a little wrist collar, and this hand hasn't got it. So I need to put a little wrist collar on there before I then glue the hand on, which also then makes the arm a little bit longer. But so that's going to be my Grey Knight in the retinue. And he will probably be, because I this is one of the reasons and one of the ways the Inquisitorial retinue has expanded and kind of snowballed. I now have a combat patrol for Grey Knights, so I'm going to be doing some Grey Knights as well, and we will probably expand expand the Inquisitorial retinue into a Grey Knight army for 40k as well, and then of course whenever I use it narratively, then the Inquisitor will take control and take the lead. He can be the warlord of the army in 10th edition, which is going to be great. Right, so yes, that's Mr. Grey Knight. Now, final one to show you. I'm going to move some of these out of the way so that we've got a nice clear background. I do like her. She's really cool. Right, we'll clear all this out of the way so that we can bring in. Now, this is the Inquisitor, which is leading the Inquisitorial retinue. This is Inquisitor Castinus Mortis, as you remember from the list idea earlier. And actually, when I was flicking through looking for a head for him, I found a head that I thought looked very much like me. So this is me in Inquisitor form for Warhammer 40,000. So this is Inquisitor Castinus Mortis, or Castinus Chris Mortis, however you want to say it. I think it's the nose on the face that I think looks like me, and then obviously it's got the kind of short haircut as well. But this is Inquisitor Erasmus. It's one of the anniversary models which came out a couple of years ago. I picked up a second one of these for Rich at the Warhammer World Open Day because they had a load of them there. But this is Inquisitor Erasmus from that release. He's obviously had a torso twist, #torso twist. I've removed his hood. He's got a new head. He's got a new arm with a melter pistol. And he's got a really. This is I keep saying I've linked this on social media recently. I think this is one of the most 40k weapons ever. In the fact that it makes no sense at all, because it's a thunder hammer with a wooden handle, which would obviously just break every time you hit something with it. But it just makes me laugh. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8 for the purity seal. So it's got 8 parts to it. You can probably spot some of the easier ones, and we'll get the pointy stick out. So that's the nozzle of a heavy flamer from Horus Heresy. This bit here is the warding stave from a Grey Knight strike squad. That is a spike from the Rough Riders kit. So that's the spike from the lance from the Rough Riders kit. This is the wooden staff from a Sisters of Battle banner bearer, and then that is also the scroll from the Sisters of Battle banner bearer with just a purity seal on the end, and then the hammerhead itself, that is a pipe, the ending of a pipe from a Adeptus Titanicus scenery sprue. But yeah, so this is so cool. This is me in Inquisitorial form, and I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. He has the backpack has been just tacked on at the moment. His head is just tacked on as well, because I love painting faces. So this will be, I'm going to do a painting faces video. This will be one of the faces which I paint for video. And obviously the Lady Inquisitor as well, she will probably be one of the other faces. So I'll do a number of those. I can't remember whether I think this is all Orlocks actually. So that's the Orlock arm, Orlock flamer, and then it's just got the melter tip on it, and then I just drilled in 2 different size holes for the melter. I'm not entirely sold on this. I don't know whether it looks a little bit unwieldy and large, but also I do quite like it because he's just so badass. He just picks up this massive melter pistol to blast people out of the way. So yeah, he is going to be Ordo Malleus, so he is a demon hunter, so this is going to be a Nemesis demon hammer. It's just such a cool demon hammer. I think it looks brilliant. I love the spike coming out of the back of it. All this is, there's no pinning in this. This is all just kind of glued together with my glue, which is fantastic. But yeah, this is my this is my new Inquisitor. Now he's not, like I say, his head and his backpack are not glued together. I'm very tempted to do a really nice paint job on some of these. Like, I'm going to pick out a select few. So it will probably be the Inquisitor, it'll be the Calidus Assassin, probably the Rogue Trader, and just do some really nice paint jobs on them. And then maybe I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself, but maybe I will 2024 enter them into Golden Demon, see how that goes, because I think an Inquisitorial Retinue was one of the first, not ideas, but like, yeah, ideas, one of the first ideas to do for Golden Demon, which then descended or developed / evolved into the Necromunda one, which I was going to do for last year, because that gives you lots of different painting styles that you can merge into the entry. But yeah, this Inquisitorial Retinue I think would be really, really cool to paint up to a really, really nice standard. And there's so much detail in here. You can do some really cool non-metallic work in there as well. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. So that is a quick kind of update / overview about where my Inquisitorial Retinue is. Everything is mostly based up like this. I've just got heads to decide upon, and weapon loadouts to decide upon for the Navy breaches. The Voidsmen just need little bits like, so for instance this one needs his head. So this guy has a beret on the official model, and I wanted to replace it with a helmet. And now we have lots of Navy breaches. Maybe I could also just kind of put a Navy breacher helmet on there as well. We'll see what that looks like. But yeah, that is where we're at with all that. I do have 5 servo skulls now, so the servo skulls will all have some kind of acolyte weapons, so weapons that the acolytes can have. I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but maybe Games Workshop will at some point in 10th edition bring out an Imperial Agent / Inquisitorial Codex, which then makes acolytes, all the loadouts for acolytes, completely illegal, and I'll have to kind of tear off the weapons and remake them or something. Actually, no, I wouldn't do that. I would just buy more. It's only a fucking servo skull. I'd just buy more servo skulls and put a new weapon on it. But yeah, so there's lots of things on here that I'm like, right, okay, I need to find cool weapons to put on these models. I need to find cool stuff that matches this, because I don't even know what he's going to be in the retinue, but he just looks so cool. So he needs to go in there. And then obviously we have some Navy pilots and things. So I want to try to get as much kind of lore and possibility that I can into the retinue as well in the models. So I need to have a pilot. I need to have a Rejuvenat, which is the rogue trader, one of the rogue trader retinue. But kind of expanding out from that, I want to have a cartographer, I want to have a remembrancer and things like that. So it'll be really, really cool to see if I can get some models to represent all of those. But until then, I'm going to carry on. I've got another box of Void bases coming with the latest Arcs of Omen book that came out, which was Farsight. I've ordered, yeah, so it's Farsight. So I've ordered Farsight, Gulliman, and another box of Void bases. So I've got plenty of Void bases to play around with. I've got loads more conversions planned. I will try, like this one has taken so long. Any other conversions, I really will try to record them. This one was so, is this going to work? Is this going to work? Is this going to work? Like I'm trying little bits here and there. Like this Thunderhammer it's probably the 8th iteration of this Thunderhammer. So I've been trying to get things to fit. That arm and this gun hand took forever to kind of get together. So I'm sorry I didn't record how to do this one, but I will try to do that going forwards. And this one, for instance, that Inquisitor I did before I'd even kind of decided to push this YouTube channel a little bit more. So she's really, really simple. She's the one of the nobles from Cursed City, just with a new handle, a new head, a Scissors of Battle dagger handle, and a little skull covering up some of the iconography there. So she's actually really simple, and then a cool head. I think the head is from the Navy breaches as well. The Navy breaches have some really, really good bear heads, which is great. So there we go. Right, thank you very, very much, everybody. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I said this was going to be a quick video, and it is, there we go, 30 minutes. Great. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can catch me on Twitch 3 or 4 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and usually Saturday, well, either Friday or Saturday at twitch.tv/Chris Frossin. Please drop me a follow on Twitter and Instagram, which is where you'll find out all about my ideas and kind of updates on when I might be streaming or what. And you can even suggest some YouTube videos that you would like to see. And that is at Chris Frossin as well. There's a Patreon. So please, if you would like to support and help out as well, you can sign up on Patreon. And I will see you in the next video where hopefully all of these will be primed and we'll start getting some paint on them. This guy is going to be awesome. Really, really cool. And also, what do you think? Does it look like me? I think it does, but that's beside the point. Pew, pew, pew. Right, see you later. Take care, everybody. Ciao.